My ideal Edward is a weird one. When it was leaked that the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railways number 1 and 2 from the Railway series were Manning-Wardle tank engines, like most people, the first thing I thought of was Billy and Charlie from the TV series. However, when I saw that number 3 was a tank engine rebuilt into a tender engine, instead of thinking of it as another OC, I thought the idea of Edward originally being a tank engine rebuilt into a tender engine was an idea I wanted to include into my ideal Edward, mainly so that way he would have some subtle connection to Thomas when it came time for Edward to mentor him. Since I came up with the idea before creating my ideal universe, I made a somewhat conceptual model using my TV series Edward and teased this at the end of my 4th short with 13. Here's the backstory for my ideal Edward. Edward was built in 1882 as the number 4 of the Wellsworth and Brendam Railway's new passenger trains. He was built as a 442 Atlantic tank. However, at first, his tanks and bunker made him too heavy for the lightly laid line and had to be fueled halfway. Even though the W&B upgraded its track during the 1910s, in 1884, Edward was tricked by the W&B's number 1, my ideal Billy, into pulling his goods train backwards, which resulted in Edward rolling down an embankment and damaging his coal bunker real bad. While the bunker was poorly patched up, in 1895, the Sodor Mainland Railway was constructing a new tender engine. The W&B ordered a duplicate tender to be constructed to work with Edward, while his bunker and tanks were removed, turning him into a 440. When the W&B became part of the NWR in 1945, Edward was renumbered to 8. However, he was allocated to the main line instead of another 440 as a volunteer and did not want the new pilot shunter to end up just like him. And he was right. After the big engine strike was over, Sir Topham Hatt swaps the 440 named Molly and Edward's jobs as originally intended now that everything was in order. During the 1950s, the island region standardized liveries with only 3 colors: passenger blue, mixed traffic green, and freight black. Edward's former W&B blue and white was replaced with passenger blue and red. As for the model, I was dead set on modifying my Adams 415, or radial tank, for Edward. However, at the time, my Adams 415 model needed an update, making Edward the last of the main 11 in my ideal fleet to be completed. Aside from changing the livery, I extended the tanks to above the front driving wheels, replaced the square cab windows with round ones, sharpened the round edges on the buffer beams, removed the sandboxes, and altered the chimney to make it look less like a stovepipe chimney. As for the tender engine variant, I removed the tanks and chopped off the coal bunker and rear pony truck and added a tender from one of my Great Central engines, rescaled. As for the whistle, it is the regular TV series Edward whistle. If you like listening to my ideal and seeing my models, leave a comment saying which character or location I should cover next. If not, my ideal Henry is next.